Your life.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, welcome to Advocacy Day. We got a beautiful day again. My name is Sherry Cooper. I'm your hostess with the mostest. So, first off, I wanted y'all to give it up to our Ohio, the best guitar player in the world. Let's give it up for Statehouse. So Zane, don't forget about it when you go professional, because we still gonna want you to come back and holler at us. So today I want to thank all our planning committee for this wonderful day. Is there anybody was on the planning committee? Could you raise your hand? I don't see a lot of hands. It gotta be more hands than that. But thank you, planning committee, because without you, this day wouldn't be possible. I also want to thank our sponsors, because without them, our partners, this wouldn't be possible. So first, I want to thank the Ohio Developmental Disability Council, who had gave us this grant to do this. Thank you to CareSource, and thank you to Rice State University, and thank you to Ashby. And I want to thank our grantee that didn't ask me to do this, but thank you, LMK, for putting on this grant. This is a great grant. So today our theme is all means all. What do all mean all to you? Somebody shout out, all mean all. What work, living, all mean all to me is shopping. I want to shop everywhere I can. So all means all. I mean, no matter what, people with disabilities should be involved in all things. So I was reminded today, if you came in late and you didn't get your name tag, we need you to make sure you go back and get your name tag, because that's the way we track who's here. So if you didn't get your name tag, make sure you go back downstairs, preferably when this is over, and register and get your name tag. So we're going to begin our program, and unfortunately, our Governor Mike Jawan couldn't be here today. It was a death with one of the council members, but he sent his regards. And we would just like to thank him for all he has done for people with disabilities in the state of Ohio. So if we could give the governor a round of applause. Thank you, Governor. We really appreciate what you have done to make our lives better. But not to be mistaken, our first speaker is our own director of the Department of Disability, Kimberly Hawk. And yeah, get Kimberly in. So, Kim, she's a pretty cool girl, because I see she likes the bingo, and I like the bingos too. So anybody who say who they is cool in my book. So I'm just gonna give you a little bio on Director Hawk. She previously served 4 years as the Chief Policy Officer at DODD and 4 years as the Assistant Director for the State of Early Intervention System. She began her career as a direct support professional, providing service for people with disabilities. How then joined the Hamilton Board of Developmental Disabilities as a special ed teacher and as an early intervention specialist. But I'm not gonna say no more, because she's gonna tell you all about herself. So I'll bring to the stage Rebecca Hall.
Good morning. It's so good to be with you here today. And thank you for taking time to come to Columbus to raise awareness and advocate for the issues that are really important to your lives. Today, we recognize, celebrate, and recommit to being the heart of accessibility, the heart of opportunity, the heart of inclusion, for Ohio to truly be the heart of it all. Just like Sherry said, all means all. It's been an honor to work with so many of you in this room, and we truly have a lot to celebrate after a historic budget investment of $1.5 billion. Absolutely. It was clearly your perspectives, your experience, and your advocacy, whether it was spoken, signed, written, or through assistive technology, that influenced me, Governor DeWine, and the General Assembly. Thanks to your advocacy efforts, direct support professionals have the opportunity to earn more money. People with developmental disabilities have more seats on county boards, and Ohio has made the nation's largest investment in universal changing tables. Right? The budget also included Accessible Ohio, an initiative led by Director Miller, and the opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities to work with cities, counties, businesses, and venues to ensure all Ohioans have the opportunity to enjoy what our great state has to offer. Together, we have made significant progress in creating more accessible communities, inclusive environments, and meaningful opportunities for people with developmental disabilities to live, work, love, and play, and thrive in their communities. Your presence makes a huge difference. It's because you are here in Columbus at the Statehouse that change happens. Our work's not over. We know that our communities are better when people with developmental disabilities are included, when all voices are heard, and when all abilities are valued. I hope that these recent accomplishments and investments in our accessible future energizes you to keep pushing Ohio to be the best state, and for other states to look towards us when they want to see what all means all truly means. Our strong partnership is crucial, and I'm excited to keep sharing positive news as these budget investments and community projects take shape. Keep up the good work of having meaningful conversations as you advocate and increase awareness. I look forward to working with you as we continue to strive to make Ohio the very best place for people with disabilities and their families to live. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Me to her and she will take me out. You want to push me to her and then she will take
Okay, so I'm down here. So unfortunately, if you're looking at the program, Brett Harvey was supposed to be here, but he couldn't make it. But don't worry, we got another good thing coming to you, because today we got a panel filled with great people. We got Kerry Jones, Kelsey Weaver, and Gwen Harshaw. So can you make your way to the podium? So while they are coming, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about all three of these beautiful, powerful women. As you can see, this is girl power at its best. I like girl power. So Carrie Jones, who's in the middle, she's the president and CEO of Elevated DD. She's also the public policy chair on the Ohio Developmental Disability Council. Gwen Harshaw, who's Zane's mother, she has over the 20 years has served many hats as mother and advocate. She's the program director of Ocala, and she's also the marketing director of Zane's band Blue Spectrum. And you got Kelsey Weaver right here. She's a 22-year-old advocate who's working toward her degree at Ohio University Eastern Campus. But today, they are going to take it over and they are going to answer some questions that have been prepared. So who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Kels.
Hi everyone, my name's Kelsey Weaver. It's great to be here with you all today. Just to tell you a little bit about my background, I have an associate's degree in mental health from Belmont College, and I'm currently working on my social work degree at Ohio University Eastern Campus, as Sherry said. I have about 2 more months till I graduate, so I'm excited about that, but it's great to be here to advocate with all of you. So thank you. I'll pass it to you.
So Kelsey, before you pass it over, would you tell us about some groups and boards and organizations you are involved in, and tell us about your job and your family?
Sure. So I am on the OSDA board as well as the COOL board. I have a big family. My mom, Tammy, my dad, Stefan, and my grandparents, Roger and Donna, are great advocates. I am not employed currently, but that is a goal of mine, hopefully after I get my degree. So I hope that answers all questions.
Yeah,
Thank
very
you.
good. So we're going to pass it over to Carrie. And Carrie, can you please give us some background about yourself and the groups and boards you're on and about your job and your family?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today. I told Sherry earlier, she's like legendary this day every year. And so to be a part of this panel with these incredible women and just speaking to all of you, we're really excited. I know all of us are. My name's Carrie Jones. I am the president and CEO of Elevated. That entity houses the Down Syndrome Association of Central Ohio, Learning Aid Ohio, and Adult Literacy Ohio. I have been advocating since as early as I can remember. I have a brother, Alex, whose 39th birthday is today. He's sleeping. That's his preferred thing to do on a birthday, which I can relate to. But he, as an overbearing older sister, as I like to identify as most of the time, I have been advocating alongside Alex, and sometimes that even includes pushing my parents a bit on things. And professionally, I have been in the field of developmental disabilities for my whole career. I started leading the Best Buddies chapter at Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes. You know, I really got the bug for wanting to do this professionally, as well as obviously some personal sides. I love the energy. Yes, we're gonna need it. We're here. We've got some big appointments today. I have been with my organization for the last 10 years. I am serving, as you mentioned, public policy chair of the DD Council. I have also been involved with bringing fathers forward, along with Gwen and many others, on a work group intended to ensure that fathers are at the table and a part of the conversations when supporting their loved ones with developmental disabilities. And yeah, beyond having a brother with Down syndrome, I also have a daughter who has been served in the system since she was 6 months old.
Thank you. Gwen, same question.
Okay, well, thank you. I am so honored to be here. I'm honored to be on the stage with these two wonderful, amazing women, and I'm honored to talk to all of you. Like she said, my name is Gwen Harshaw. I currently work for OCALI, the Ohio Center for Autism and Low Incidence. I'm with the Family and Community Outreach Center, and I'm also Zane's mom. And like I said, I'm thrilled to be here. I've always been interested in community events. I actually volunteered on a suicide hotline, and I volunteered with other groups, but I really took off when my son was diagnosed with autism. And I think it's so powerful and so impactful. I started by being just involved with different groups. I served on the Autism Society of Central Ohio, their board. I was on OSILC, the Ohio Statewide Independent Living Council. I have served with Best Buddies, like you said, and all of it started just an attempt to help my son. But as I realized, as I got more involved, I don't want to just help him. I want the community as a whole. I want his friends, his family, his colleagues, and all of us. We will all rise together. So it's for us all. So like I said, I'm just honored to be here, and I'm excited to hear more.
So, Kelsey, I'm going to go back to you and ask, why is advocacy important to you, and how did you get started as an advocate?
So I'm going to start with the first part of that question. Why is advocacy important to me? I think there's so many reasons, but the main reason why advocacy is important for me is because if we want change to happen, we have to fight for that change. If we want something to see something change, we have to be the ones to speak up and say, hey, there's something that needs to be done about this. The story about how I got started is kind of unique. I live in Belmont County. We're a very rural area. There's not a lot of groups or things to do in that area, and I just felt like something was missing. So I started my own blog called Powerfully Disabled, where I talked about disability issues and my own personal story and just things that were important to me. And then from there, I got a mentor and a friend that told me, you need to check out SBA's board. And then from there, opportunities just started happening. So I've been very blessed with, different boards approaching me, different opportunities to go places and advocate. Tomorrow I'll be going to Baltimore for their self-direction conference, so I'm excited about that. But that's kind of how I got started. I kind of made my own space. So I hope that answered the question.
That's a very good story, yeah. Okay, I'm going to just ask the same question to you. Why is advocacy important to you, and how did you get started as an advocate?
Well, I touched on this a little bit in my long-winded intro, but I will add that, having a brother with Down syndrome, the joke among the sibling community is when anyone asks you what's it like to have a sibling with a developmental disability, you say, I don't know what's it like not to. It's something that it becomes a part of the fabric of your family and who you are. For me, I guess perhaps being in the pecking order that we are with me as the oldest, I found myself in a place where I wanted to be a protector to Alex. And I don't think that I ever really, even now, I sometimes kind of forget about that part. He's just my brother. And, I'll be out with him somewhere and we get into a bit of an argument and I realize the optics on some of that if you're not careful. We all fight with our siblings, right? I think seeing that the world didn't see necessarily the abilities that I saw, the gifts that he really brought into the world at an earlier age. There were many, many people, to be clear, who did. But I wanted every single person to see that. We're talking about all means all today. I wanted everybody to see that piece of him. But it expanded kind of like Gwen, well beyond just Alex and his story. I began ingratiating myself with others with developmental disabilities pretty early on and saw the same types of hidden talent and ability and just they needed at that time, this was years ago, I'm old, but a space to have opportunities to showcase who they are, and being in a separate room or in a separate building, which are things that my parents had to advocate for to not have happen, definitely don't lend itself to getting to know people of all abilities, that's for sure. So for me, the more work and the more time I spent in the field and the more I saw the positive change and the impact for not only people with developmental disabilities, but for the community around them, I just got a bug for it and had to keep going. And there have been so many beautiful stories and experiences that I have seen firsthand, and ones that I've seen from afar that can happen when we embrace inclusion in a really authentic way.
Thank you. And Gwen, I'm going to try the same question to you.
Okay, well, I'm going to piggyback off of some of the things both of you said because advocacy is so important. It's the basis for everything. It's the basis for community. It's the basis for even our government to a certain degree. And it's so impactful. I can't imagine what our world would look like if there haven't been advocates. And by the way, there have always been advocates. We stand on their shoulders, and I appreciate that, and I want to carry it further. Part of the question I think I touched on as well, I've always been interested in it. My parents were very interested in it, and they taught me, but it definitely took off when my son was diagnosed, and I just went around trying to ingratiate myself with people, with different organizations. I met some wonderful people, and something I've learned, I'm actually getting into a future question, so I'm gonna hold off on that, but you don't want to assume the people you're meeting with aren't going to understand. Sometimes they don't understand off the bat, but you got to keep trying. You got to keep the end in mind and keep trying. And it's so important. And all of you know that because you're here. So that's great.
Thank you. So Kelsey, if you could give one piece of advice to those in the audience who want to become a better advocate, what would it be?
I think if there's anything I learned this year and just in general about being an advocate, don't be afraid to sell yourself. Especially, I mean, everyone is great advocates here on this panel. There's more power in numbers, so definitely I appreciate allies and family members and siblings, I really do, but especially to the advocates out there with disabilities, don't be afraid to sell yourself, because there's no one out there that has that lived experience and knows this kind of life better than you. So that would be my advice.
And Carrie, what's your one piece of advice to the audience?
Well, I don't know if this is everybody's cup of tea, but for me personally, I can say that being vulnerable has been a really powerful tool in advocacy. It's easy to celebrate the victories, and it's easy to get people to rally around you to celebrate the victories. It's not so easy when you don't win, or when you win and it still doesn't feel good. And maybe you get into that room or into that space or into that building, but you feel like not everybody really wants you there. And it's talking about that part to people that do love you and do care, and your allies, your friends, to the community, if that's through a blog or a social media post or just even a short video. Sharing that raw emotion, I think, has been a really powerful tool for me. It's been cathartic. It's super difficult. Feeling that vulnerable is really scary. It's probably the scariest part of advocacy for me. But I think that people need to know that we are people who have feelings, and we feel a little less alone if we can talk about the dark parts too.
Very good.
That's really powerful. Thank you.
And what's your one piece of advice?
I thought about this for a while, and both of you ladies touched on it, and that personal touch that you said is so important. And one thing when I talk to my friends and when I talk to other parents with a new diagnosis, I want to let them know that we need passion. You're so right. Passion is so important. It'll keep you going. But you don't want that passion to overtake where you don't realize that someone who may seem like an adversary could become an ally. And it's a tall order because it's painful and it's hard, just like she was saying. But if we can tell our stories and touch that piece of their humanity, it can be amazing. I have had a number of people who just didn't get it. They just didn't get it. It wasn't their experience. But if you try to break it down and not be hostile, you might be amazed at the responses. Because
does anyone picture Gwen as hostile ever?
Oh, don't ask my husband, but okay. But I think that's really important because I've been there. You touched my heart. It can be so painful, but you got to remember the end and keep trying and keep talking, because some people will surprise you. There have been people that we expected to be in our corner that we just assumed and that were not. And then there were people who, we had nothing in common with. And if it was a different situation, we probably would have never met them. And they were so supportive. And if I'd gone by my initial impression, which I probably sometimes did, I would have lost out on a lot. So keep the passion, support yourself, but realize they're human too. And sometimes they just understand. We make understanding. You guys are going to be doing that this afternoon with the legislators. So keep doing it.
Kelsey, I'm going to go back to you. What is the most interesting or difficult advocacy experience you have had? And tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, so I'm going to plug our friends at DD Council and LMK Advocacy here. Last fall, I was invited to join a trip to Washington, D.C. to help advocate for legislation, and it was a really good experience. It's my first time I've ever advocated on the federal level, and I'll tell you what, I learned so much about myself as an advocate. I learned so much about advocacy in general, and I learned just so much. It was such a valuable experience. And anybody that has that opportunity, I would say definitely take it. And there were some hard times just because that was something I've never done before, but this lady was here with me, and I had some great other advocates that, you know, like I said earlier, there's power in numbers, so we all helped each other out, and it was a great experience. So.
You were amazing. I would have thought that you do that every year. It was so powerful. But you were speaking from your heart.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Okay, the title question to you. Interesting or difficult advocacy experience you have had?
How much time do we have?
Oh, not that long.
Oh, seriously, are we doing it on time? Okay. So Gwen knows this story, and some of you in the room know this story. I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible. I believe in inclusion. I believe in authentic inclusion, where you are wherever you want to be as a person with a developmental disability. And 2 years ago today, actually, so it's probably some kind of God wink that today is the day of DD Advocacy Day, and here I am up in front of everyone. But 2 years ago today, it was my brother Alex's birthday, and Alex has been participating in tennis lessons for quite some time. But the tennis lessons he goes to are separate. They are with people with developmental disabilities, which is fine. That's what he likes to do. But I started going to a tennis club in near where we live. And I picked up tennis again. We've been playing since we were little kids. Years ago, we played together, you know, just at a tennis club down in the Westchester area. Who here, anyone from Butler County? No one. I'm 0 for 2 days in, oh, all right, there we go, all right. So from Westchester, we grew up and we were really involved in tennis lessons. And so Alex is pretty good. He's better than me, I think. And so I said, why don't we try having Alex come play with me? I'm playing cardio tennis. It's not competitive. Instead of going to a separate place that's across town, why don't we go where our neighbors are? My brother lives in my neighborhood. So we decided to go to our local tennis club and play cardio tennis. And we were really excited about, you know, just being active. And if the ball goes far away, well, that's kind of good because we're supposed to be running and exercising, right? At least that's what I told myself when I hit the ball really far away. So we had a great time. I was really nervous about it because we hadn't tried a community setting like that. Alex, for years now, has been going to a separate place where there are people without disabilities, but they're just there to help. They're not there to play alongside them. And so we had a great time, and I was relieved because, again, he was better than me. And then we signed up for the next week. So it was just a great birthday all around, right? We had a great time. Our neighbors were there. We went out afterwards. We celebrated. I was feeling like it was a huge advocacy win. Why hadn't we been pushing for this sooner? Why hadn't we been pushing for a community setting where he would be with his neighbors and his sister, his favorite sister? And, you know, so we signed up for the following Saturday to do it again, and the Thursday before, I got a call from the general manager who said, hey, we see that you're signed up for lessons. Alex can't come back. And I'm like, I think you have the wrong number. And she said, no, he's just not at the skill that's required for this. And I said, well, it's cardio tennis. It's not competitive. And they said, yeah, no, sorry, we can't meet his needs here. And there are other places he can go. There are places where it's just for people with developmental disabilities, and that might be a better fit for him. And I said, the fit for him is in his community with his neighbors where he wants to be for a class that's just meant to be for exercise. And it didn't go well. We had to bring in Disability Rights Ohio to help us advocate for Alex because he wanted to continue to go to this tennis club in our area. And at the end of the day, they did what they had to do. So what they had to do was offer a beginner cardio tennis class because that's where they said he belonged, with his skills. But it was on a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. So do you think they really wanted Alex to come to cardio tennis? What is that saying? And so at the end of the day, they did what they had to legally do. Technically, we won, but we didn't win. And it's difficult when we don't win. It's difficult when we win and we still feel like we've lost. It's difficult that there are people within our own communities that don't see what we see. And it's even more difficult to keep going because there's an emotional risk that we all have to take when we advocate. No matter if you're a person with a developmental disability, a loved one, a friend, whoever you are, you have to take an emotional risk to keep trying even when you want to give up, especially when you're looking at inclusion. And I think that that's the most interesting, perhaps most difficult piece to inclusion because I, for a living, advocate. That's my job. And if I can't do it, I feel like I'm failing. But I know that it's not me failing and it's not Alex's family failing. It's the world around us that hasn't caught up yet. And we got to get there. We got to keep pushing.
So powerful. You don't know what the future holds with that organization, but I get it. That is so.
I think I should probably email them today, right?
Yeah.
Should I try again?
Yeah. You should bring several people with you.
Who wants to go to Clintonville after this? It's not far away.
So I've had things akin to that. The first thing that I thought of towards that question actually happened here. So that was the first thing that popped into my mind, and it was pretty amazing. But we've had the painful ones too. This one was pretty exciting. So the first time Zane played here, Governor Kasich was the governor, and Zane played, and Governor Kasich wasn't able to attend because he had a conflicting meeting. But ironically, at the end when Zane was playing, he was coming back from his meeting, and he was walking through the Statehouse towards his office. He heard the music, and he came here into the atrium, talked to a few people, asked them questions, what was going on, about Zane. And then after Zane finished playing, he got up to speak. And he spoke for about 10 minutes talking about disability rights and disability issues. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. It was so incredible. One of the organizers of this event came up to us and invited Zane to play at their national conference that was coming up in a few weeks in San Antonio, Texas. Absolutely amazing. We had a ball. And most importantly, we were at this national conference made up of what? Advocates from around the country. We met so many people, and it really kind of kicked off Zane's career. But it also just connected us with people that we needed to know and needed to meet. And I'm so grateful. And so you don't know when something like that's going to happen as well. Also, another great thing, I met you at this event the following year, so that was wonderful too. And keep that in mind. We're here to network with each other as well. I want you to talk to your legislators, but talk to each other, because we need that support. We need those relationships. We need those friendships to keep going even when things are tough. Yes. But it's been an incredible journey.
I should add that the tough things make the victories all the sweeter, right? If we had it easy all the time, would we really savor the wins? We wouldn't. So
You're right.
I don't want to be the downer of the panel.
No, that's an important story.
Great.
So ladies, I have one more question. And that is why is it important to you to participate in this panel, and what do you hope people get out of it? So Kelsey, I'll come to you first.
Well, I think it's important for everyone to share their perspective, no matter if you're on the stage today or not. I hope this empowers you to share your story, whether it be, to a neighbor or a friend or in your own local community. If you want to start a blog or even do a social media post saying, I was here today at DD Advocacy Day. This is how I'm going to commit to be a better advocate. Won't you join me in this? I hope that somebody today could take away something from this discussion. And everybody has a story. The highs are high and the lows are low, but we all had to start somewhere. So don't be afraid to, take that step. I'm sorry, what was the second part of the
What do you hope people get out of it?
Yeah, I just hope that everybody, is not afraid to share their own story in whatever capacity or medium that speaks to you. So.
Thank you. Carrie, any questions? Yeah, give it up, give it up.
Kelsey kind of nailed it. Again, just if any of you in the room can take something that one of us have said and apply it to your advocacy, I think that's probably my ultimate goal is somehow that snowballs into more from here.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
William, same question.
So many thoughts. I just look around this room and the energy and the passion and the talents and the intelligence. You guys, this is great because one of the dangers of being an advocate or even living with a disability or living with a difference in this world is feeling isolated and feeling lonely. And that can really wear you down and it can keep you from doing what you want and need to do. So take advantage of this. Look around. See, all of us are united in our goal here. That's amazing. This is so powerful. So I'm so grateful to have this event every year. It definitely refuels me and renews me, and I hope you all feel the same. And we just need to join up, and we need to keep advocating, telling our story, and making people hear us in a non-hostile way.
Thank you, ladies. Let's give these ladies a big round of applause. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Give them another round of applause. Good night. So while they are coming up, we're gonna have Nathan, Turner, and Michael up to come on up. And I'm gonna get out the way while they're coming up. You behind me? I need Michael up.
Yep. You good? Oh, watch behind you.
Goodness. Okay.
You're good. You're good.
I think there's a good reason I don't have a driver's license.
I want to give you a little bio information. First we had girl power, now we got manpower. So Nathan Turner, he has 16 years of advocating for people with disabilities. He holds a degree in political science and international studies from Wright State University and serves as an outreach and educational coordinator for the Department of Developmental Disabilities. And he's going to be talking to Derek Up, who's a graduate of the Ohio State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in education. So, Mia, I'm gonna let you take this over, cause this is too much to test you on for me.
Thank you so much, Sherry, for that really warm introduction. And I appreciate all of your attention this morning. So, Derek, I know you have really been involved with your community and with advocacy. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about what motivates your advocacy, and maybe particularly think about it in the lens of being on Fairfield DD and what inspired you to get involved there, and why your perspective is important on Fairfield DD as a person living with a disability?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So obviously I started when I was a client, and I still am, of DD getting provided services and stuff like that. And I actually got contacted by our local county family friend who wanted me to interview to get appointed by them. And, you know, it was a great honor to do it. And also, my mom was actually on the board before I was as a parent of somebody with a disability. And it's just an opportunity to be able to voice my opinion as board member with David Wool and all them and the board members. To be able to voice my opinion and see what actually goes on with policies and stuff in the county, and be able to see what actually goes on a day-to-day.
Absolutely. I think elevating the voices of people with disabilities is critical, and it's interesting, and I really appreciate the leadership of Governor DeWine and Director Hauk. At the beginning of this biennium, we put it in the budget to have that changed in the law where the county boards were required to have someone with a developmental disability on each of the county boards. So having that requirement means that county boards are going to have a new perspective on things, and potentially this could be really transformative in the way that we administer services and supports in the system. And so now I want to shift our focus a little bit and talk about your employment journey. I know for me at DODD, from my perspective, one of the most important things we can do is support people living with developmental disabilities to achieve their fullest potential. And a big part of that is integrated employment opportunities, effectively real jobs with real pay. I want to reflect on your employment journey and maybe a little bit of how that has really helped you to live the life that you want to live.
No, that's actually a good thing you brought up. So, you know, after high school, the help with the DODD and OD, both with the resources of employment opportunities and also being able to have a handicap van, the financial side, and also the financial side of being able to go to school and not having to worry about payment-wise with books and stuff. And, you know, self-advocacy after, you know, graduating from college, self-advocacy was my biggest thing because where I am today, working for Lindsay Honda, the personal relationships I had with Honda Racing was able to where I am now. And I believe, you know, self-advocacy is the biggest thing. I mean, you can definitely get the resources from OD and the stuff that's out there to be able to learn how to get employment, and also with your self-advocacy, be able to, you know, get yourself out there and be working with others in the, you know, the workforce.
You know, relationships are absolutely critical to success in employment, and I'm wondering, do you want to talk a little bit more about how you developed those relationships in your community and how they may have motivated either your journey for employment or your journey for recreational advocacy and promoting recreational access?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been involved in sports all throughout my life. From when I was younger, I played t-ball with able-bodied individuals. I played bowling. I've done quad rugby. I've done wheelchair basketball, wheelchair football. I've done sled hockey. I mean, I've done pretty much every sport that you can think I've pretty much tried. And now that I'm getting older, unfortunately, I've turned myself, I'm still playing some, but not as much. And now I'm more in the realm of, being involved with two different groups right now. One is every year I help with a group that does a basketball camp for kids with disabilities. And it's a camp for kids with and without disabilities. We do a camp every year in Lancaster and Fairfield County. And it just helps get people inclusion together. And I know I've had several, Levi's been in it, and it's been very beneficial for others to, to see what it's like. And I've also am part of a group that is creating a all-purpose baseball field in Fairfield County. That it's going to be a rubber-based field that we're hoping to have here created within the next year or two. And we always say in No Limits, the only disability is a bad attitude.
Absolutely, that is an incredible piece of advice. And I think too, you have some thoughts that you want to share on the value of direct support in the direct care crisis. I know that we are in the midst of a budget that places unprecedented levels of investment into our direct care workforce, but the budget doesn't tell the entire story. And I'm wondering if you want to reflect on your experiences with the direct care crisis, because I think direct support staff are essential to helping us make our days happen. We're not just a line item in a budget.
Right, exactly. No, I mean, even though I am employed and, and I really love being, working and stuff, but I think the biggest hindrance for me right now is, like you said, the direct support and the caregiving. It's just hard to try to find individuals and companies that want to work with both waiver and Medicaid on the healthcare side, nurses and aides, and trying to find help in not just my area, but also different counties throughout the state. And it's just hard because of the funding and or the staffing to be able to help individuals, with disabilities.
Absolutely. And I know we're running short on time and folks have legislative visits, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time, but I also know that you have a very great story, and I'm wondering if you have just any more thoughts that you'd like to share or reflections on what you've learned about yourself through your journey as a result of living with a disability.
Basically, it is basically, to be self-advocate and also learning what resources are out there, whether it's through OOD or local, like Southeastern Ohio for Independent Living, and different organizations out there that are available for individuals with disabilities, not just in state, but local levels, in your area.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I know we're at the end of our time, so I really do appreciate everyone for coming today, and thank you so much for listening to us.
So thank you, gentlemen. That was very insightful. As we close today, if everybody open their program and look for the sheet to say, for the self-advocate. Do you see that? It says, for the self-advocate. As you go into your appointment, we want you to remember it is talking points. 1 point called supported decision making. That's one talking point. Self-advocate is another talking point. Transportation and technology. And again, if you haven't registered today, please go down and register. So before I let y'all out, I want to bring up Alex, who is going to give us some update on your appointment. Alex, oh, you moved. Okay. Okay.
Up a little bit. Okay, so we just had a couple of meeting updates. Anybody who is scheduled to meet with Representative Richardson's office at 2 o'clock, we just got word from her aide that she is not in the district today and her aide was injured, so she is not at work. So unfortunately, that meeting is gonna have to be canceled. You will also have a 1 o'clock meeting with Senator Reineke, and that one's still good to go, but you don't need to wait around for the 2 o'clock meeting. And then there are a couple of 11:15 meetings. We let them know that we're running a little long, so you can still go to the meetings, don't worry about being late, but you'll want to go straight there after the program because they'll be starting shortly.
Thank you, Alex. I was just reminded, if everybody will take the survey and the program, you got a QR code. You can get your phone out and do the QR code and do the survey. Did we have a good day today? I don't think that was loud enough. Did we have a good day today? Yeah, that's a whole lot better. Well, thank everybody for coming, and remember to talk to one another, because advocates, we make the world go round, and we rock. So everybody have a good day, and be strong, be advocates. Thank you. Oh.
Thank you, my dear. I'm with Franklin County. I'm Rita.
Hi, Rita.